Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, take a look at the headlines first. World Population Prospects Report 2024 released. Security agencies seize Pak-bound banned chemicals. Prime Minister visited Austria to highlight 75 years of diplomatic relations. Vizhinjam International Seaport in Kerala welcomes its first container vessel. India's scientific deep drilling at Koyana-Varna region in Maharashtra. IMF's working paper on India's structural transformation released. To begin with, let's delve into the latest findings from the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs in their recently released World Population Prospects Report 2024. This comprehensive report offers a glimpse into the demographic trends shaping our world, presenting both global and country-wise specific data. Now, let's discuss key findings of the report. Starting on a global scale, the report projects that the world's population will peak around 10.3 billion people in the mid-2080s, a significant increase from the current 8.2 billion people in 2024. This growth, however, is accompanied by a declining fertility rate, now at 2.25 live births per woman, down from 3.31 in 1990. Life expectancy has also seen a notable rise, reaching 73.3 years in 2024, up by 8.4 years since 1995. Interestingly, early pregnancies remain a concern, with 4.7 billion babies, or 3.5% of the total births worldwide in 2024, born to mothers under the age of 18. Focusing on India, the report highlights that the nation's population is expected to peak in the early 2060s, maintaining its position as the world's largest throughout the century. The report identifies several drivers behind the population increase. Population momentum is one of them. Growth in number of women of reproductive age, even when the number of births per woman falls to or below the replacement level. Additionally, higher fertility rates in some countries or regions, increase in life expectancy are other drivers. Now, let's discuss more about the UNDESA. Rooted in the United Nations Charter and is headquartered in New York, it works closely with governments and stakeholders to help countries achieve their economic, social, and environmental goals. As a development pillar of the United Nations Secretariat, UNDESA is responsible for producing crucial reports like the World Economic Situation and Prospects and Financing for Sustainable Development. In conclusion, the World Population Prospects Report 2024 offers vital insights into the future demographic landscape. Understanding these trends is crucial for shaping policies that address the challenges and opportunities of a growing global population.
Ahead, we have a fascinating and important story to share with you. Indian security agencies have made a significant seizure at a port in Tamil Nadu. A consignment of orthochlorobenzylidene melononitrile, an internationally banned chemical used for tear gas and riot control agents, was intercepted. This consignment was seized under the provisions of the Customs Act 1962 and the Weapons of Mass Destruction and Delivery Systems Prohibition of Unlawful Activities Act 2005. Interestingly, this chemical is also listed on India's export control list, SCOMET, as a controlled substance, meaning its export requires authorization. Now you might be wondering, what is the SCOMET list? SCOMET stands for Special Chemicals, Organisms, Materials, Equipment and Technologies. It is India's national export control list that includes dual-use items, munitions, and nuclear-related items, including software and technology. Dual-use items are those that can have both civilian and military applications. According to the Foreign Trade Policy of 2023, the export of these items and technologies is either prohibited or permitted only under a license. The SCOMET list is notified under Indian Trade Clarification based on Harmonized System Classification, which is used for import-export operations. But that's not all. The SCOMET control list is aligned with the control list of all multilateral export control regimes and conventions. These multilateral export control regimes include Wassenaar Arrangement 1996 for conventional arms and dual-use goods and technologies. Next is Nuclear Suppliers Group 1974 for transfers of civilian nuclear material and nuclear-related equipment and technology. Third is Missile Technology Control Regime 1987, which limits the spread of ballistic missiles and other unmanned delivery systems. And lastly, there is Australia Group 1985 for chemical and biological weapons. It's important to note that, except for Nuclear Suppliers Group, India is a member of all these control regimes, reflecting its commitment to controlling the proliferation of sensitive items and technologies. In conclusion, this seizure is a crucial step in ensuring that banned and controlled substances do not reach unauthorized hands. In our next news, we are diving into a significant milestone in international relations as the Prime Minister's recent visit to Austria marks 75 years of diplomatic ties between India and Austria. This visit is notable for being the first by an Indian Prime Minister to Austria in 41 years and the last one being in 1983. Let's explore the highlights and implications of this historic trip. The visit emphasized a future-oriented bilateral partnership focused on sustainable economic and technological cooperation. This partnership is set to cover a range of new initiatives and joint projects. From business-to-business engagement in green and digital technologies to infrastructure, renewable energy, water management, life sciences, smart cities, mobility, and transportation, the scope is broad and ambitious. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the rich history of India-Austria relations. Diplomatic ties between the two countries were established in 1949, and PM Nehru supported Austria's emergence as a neutral and independent country in 1955. Moving on to political and security cooperation, both nations have affirmed their commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific region. They also emphasized the importance of a peaceful resolution to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. On the economic front, the total bilateral trade for 2023 stood at $2.93 billion, with Indian exports to Austria valued at $1.52 billion. In a bid to foster innovation and entrepreneurship, the India-Austria Startup Bridge was launched in 2024, marking a significant step towards enhancing business ties between the two countries. In terms of multilateral cooperation, Austria expressed its interest in the India-Middle East-Europe corridor. Additionally, India reiterated its support for Austria's candidature for the United Nations Security Council term 2027-28, while Austria reciprocated by supporting India's candidature for 2028-29. Furthermore, India invited Austria to join the International Solar Alliance, reflecting their shared commitment to sustainable energy. In conclusion, this visit by the Prime Minister to Austria not only celebrates 75 years of diplomatic relations, but also set the stage for a promising future of cooperation and mutual growth. Ahead in an exciting update from Kerala, Vizhinjam International Seaport in Thiruvananthapuram has welcomed its first container vessel, marking a significant milestone for India's first deep-water container transshipment port. The Vizhinjam Seaport is an ambitious project by the Kerala government. Currently, it is being developed under the landlord model with a public-private partnership component on a design, build, finance, operate, and transfer basis. In this model, the Port Authority acts as a regulatory body and landlord, while port operations, particularly cargo handling, are managed by private companies. In this case, it's Adani Vizhinjam Port Private Limited. Now let's talk about transshipment hubs. These are ports that serve as intermediate points for transferring cargo between originating and destination ports. Nearly 75% of India's transshipment cargo is handled at ports outside India. The ports of Colombo, Singapore, and Klang handle more than 85% of this cargo. Why is it significant for India to develop its own transshipment hubs? Firstly, it can address potential revenue losses for major ports, which are estimated to be around $200 to $220 million, and increase port activity. Secondly, it can save foreign exchange reserves and attract foreign direct investment. Additionally, it leads to the development of related logistics infrastructure and generates employment. Furthermore, it supports the growth of allied businesses such as ship repair, warehousing, and bunkering. India is already taking several initiatives to develop transshipment hubs. For instance, the Cochin Port Authority has developed the International Container Transshipment Terminal in Kochi. Moreover, Galathea Bay in Great Nicobar Island of Andaman and Nicobar Islands has been identified for the development of an international container transshipment port. In conclusion, the arrival of the first container vessel at Vizhinjam International Seaport is not just a milestone for Kerala, but a significant step forward for India's maritime infrastructure.
In our next news, we delve into the depths of India's cutting-edge scientific endeavour, the Scientific Deep Drilling Project in the Koyana-Varna region of Maharashtra. Spearheaded by the Borehole Geophysics Research Laboratory under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, this ambitious project aims to unlock the secrets of the Earth's crust by drilling to an astounding depth of 7 kilometers. SDD is the enterprise of strategically digging boreholes to observe and analyze deeper parts of the Earth's crust. But why was Koyana chosen as the site for this study? We can attribute this to its unique geological history. Since the impounding of the Koyna Dam or Shivaji Sagar Lake in 1962, the area has experienced recurrent earthquakes, making it the most prominent example of reservoir-triggered seismicity in the world. By strategically drilling into this seismically active region, scientists hope to gain unprecedented insights into the mechanics of earthquakes and the behavior of the Earth's crust. The drilling technique employed at Koyna is a sophisticated hybrid of mud rotary drilling and percussion drilling, also known as air hammering. Mud rotary drilling involves using a steel rod to cut through rock while a cooling liquid or drilling mud cools the tools and removes debris from the borehole. Air hammering, on the other hand, uses highly compressed air to deepen the borehole and flush out rock cuttings. This innovative combination allows for efficient and precise drilling in challenging conditions. However, SDD project is not without its challenges. It is both labor and capital intensive, requiring meticulous planning and exceptional drilling expertise. As the borehole gets deeper, the load on the drilling hook increases, adding to the complexity of the operation. Moreover, the Earth's interior presents a hostile environment, hot, dark, and high pressure that complicates long and continuous drilling efforts. Despite these challenges, the scientific community remains optimistic about the potential discoveries that lie ahead. This will be an opportunity and access to study earthquakes. The data gathered could revolutionize our understanding of planet's history, active fault zones, rock types, energy sources, life forms, etc. It will provide insight into Deccan volcanism and mass extinction, alongside learning the geothermal potential of West Coast Belt. The study will pave the way for development of a model for reservoir-triggered seismicity mechanism. Our next news focuses on a working paper released by the International Monetary Fund titled Advancing India's Structural Transformation and Catch Up to the Technology Frontier. This comprehensive report sheds light on India's economic growth trajectory and highlights crucial structural reforms needed to propel the nation forward. Talking about the key highlights of the paper, the IMF's analysis reveals a striking shift in India's economic landscape over the past few decades. The agricultural sector's contribution to aggregate output has declined from over 40% in 1980 to just 15% in 2019. Despite this decline, agriculture still employs a staggering 42% of the workforce. The disparity is attributed to stringent labor market regulations, underscoring a critical need for reform. A notable highlight of the paper is the uneven adoption of technology across different industries. While the services sector, particularly in areas like computer programming, IT services, and jewelry manufacturing, has made significant strides towards the technological frontier, the manufacturing sector lags behind. Looking ahead, the IMF projects a daunting task for India: the creation of between 143 to 324 million jobs by 2050 to accommodate its growing population. Interestingly, the report suggests that even a modest shift of employment from agriculture to construction, services, or manufacturing could boost GDP growth by an estimated 0.2 to 0.5%. To address these challenges, the IMF proposes several key recommendations. First, advancing labor market reforms by enhancing flexibility while ensuring worker protection is paramount. This would involve collaboration between the central government and the states. Second, fostering trade integration by removing tariff and non-tariff barriers is essential for exposing Indian producers to healthy competition and improving resource allocation. Lastly, strengthening the social safety net is crucial to facilitate the migration of workers from rural to urban areas, aiding in the economy's structural transformation. In conclusion, the IMF's working paper provides a clear roadmap for India's structural transformation. Implementing these recommendations could unlock substantial growth potential, steering India towards a more prosperous and technologically advanced future. As we conclude today's main news, let's take a look at some quick updates. Government has decided to implement e-office in all attached subordinate offices and autonomous bodies. It is a mission mode project under National E-Governance Program and is developed by National Informatics Center. RBI expanded the scope of remittances to international financial services centers under the liberalized remittance scheme. Gujarat International Finance Tech City GIFT IFSC is India's maiden IFSC set up under the Special Economic Zone Act 2005. National Commission for Scheduled Castes has sought a report from the Karnataka government over reported diversion of funds from Scheduled Caste Subplan and Tribal Subplan. Strategy of TSP has been in force since 1974 and strategy of SCSP has been in force since 1979-80. Indian Air Force contingent reached Australia to participate in exercise Pitch Black 2024. It is a multinational exercise hosted by the Royal Australian Air Force. Scientists successfully create a time crystal made of giant atoms. A crystal is an arrangement of atoms that repeats itself in space in regular intervals. A time crystal is a quantum system where particles organize into a pattern of motion that repeats periodically in time. Scientists at Drummond Research Institute have created a new, user-friendly way to generate truly unpredictable random numbers, which is crucial for stronger encryption in quantum communications. Quantum cryptography is a method of encryption that uses naturally occurring properties of quantum mechanics to secure and transmit data. Summer census reveals rise in Saras crane population in Uttar Pradesh. It is the tallest flying bird in the world. It has been declared as a state bird of Uttar Pradesh. Locals in Upper Siang district are protesting against the Upper Siang hydropower project in Arunachal Pradesh. The project is being developed by NHPC on River Siang. Kolkata bench of National Green Tribunal ordered Central Groundwater Board to investigate the dangerous levels of chromium contamination of groundwater in Sukinda Valley, Odisha. Chromium is highly water-soluble and leads to widespread contamination from the point of source. The Board for Loss and Damage Fund decided to call it as Fund to Respond to Loss and Damage. It was established in 27th session of UNFCCC Conference of the Parties in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt in 2022. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Knowledge. We appreciate your company. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and for the PDF version, visit the links in the description below.